and welcome to episode 17 of Arcadiology, where we dig up your favorite arcade relics. My name is Jordan Carruthers, as it typically is, and I'm here with my three best friends in the world, them Wiggin boys. Say hello to Mr. Brad Wiggin.
What up?
Say bonjour to Mr. Sky Wiggin.
Hi.
And say aloha to Mr. Kyle Wiggin.
Oh, aloha, dudes.
It's changing it up this time. That actually sounded more appropriate.
Had to keep it on theme.
I kind of demand that every time going forward now, I think.
Aloha, dude.
It's just
Killer
necessary
waves.
now. We going back to Turtles, old cowabunga action.
About to grab my boogie board right now.
Oh, dude, I had one of those as a kid, too. That was like my favorite part about going to the beach as a kid. But anyway, besides for, the boogie boarding and stuff, how y'all doing tonight? I know we almost, we weren't too sure if we were going to be able to squeeze this in tonight, but I'm glad that we did it. Glad we're all together, us four best friends in the world. How y'all feeling?
Good, yeah, we almost had a delay, but look, glad to get this one out of the way there so we can move on to the next one personally.
Boys, I'm not gonna lie to you. I still feel like crap.
Oh, yeah, I forgot you were sick now. It's your turn. I'm good now, man. It's all you now.
It's been like a week, dude.
If you're anything like me, you have like 6 more of those to go.
6 more weeks. What am I, a groundhog?
I was at least like congested for weeks and weeks and weeks.
Yeah, I'm definitely like... I'm on the back 9, I can tell, but it still sucks.
Oh, it's not bad then. Sky, you're quiet. What's up, my man? How you doing?
Oh, I'm just chilling, man. I'm just hanging out.
You're just chilling? You're just here to listen tonight? Not gonna talk?
I'm just gonna spectate, yeah.
Alright, man, I get it.
Observe and report.
I get it, man. Just sometimes you're just not feeling up to your job. You just want to come and hang out and listen.
Sometimes I don't want to do any work.
Alright, well, do you at least want to tell me what other games you've been playing lately?
It's not a new game for me. I played it a while ago. I think it's kind of an older game. But I think last episode we were talking about roguelike games, right?
I think we always are.
Yeah, pretty much. We were saying how it'd be cool to have one that's like multiplayer. And I actually forgot about a game we used to play quite a few years ago. It is pretty much like a roguelike multiplayer game. But Jordan wouldn't like it because it's like a platformer. But
Ew.
anyway, it's an online multiplayer roguelite. It's on Steam, and it also has like a web version also. You can just go on the website and play it. But it's called Starbreak. And it's still going as far as I know now, so... but it's pretty much just like a 2D platformer roguelite. Standard thing, you go through levels, collect better gear. If you die, you lose everything. But it's more... I guess they call it like roguelite instead of like, because you do get some kind of progression. You can like store weapons, and you pretty much collect weapons. You can get a couple backup pieces of gear and stuff, so if you die, you'll have something to start next run with. You pretty much just go through and see how strong you can get in one run. And you can run levels with like, I don't even know how many people are in the levels at a time, but it seems like a crap ton. Like, I don't know, I think the servers, I'm just throwing out a number, like 40 people or something at once just running a level, so it's like chaos. But it's actually pretty fun though, I like it. So if you guys are interested at all, check it out.
Wait, you have 40 people all working together?
Yeah, you all just blitz through a level together, just wasting everything, killing the bosses and stuff. A lot of the time, some of the people were like overgeared, so if you die, you can jump in a level with somebody who's crushing it, and you can just run behind like 10 people who are geared out, and they'll just crush everything if you need to get a couple pieces of gear and stuff. Eventually, you open up, you all contribute stuff that you get from the levels. I forget what they're called. It might be like shadow crystals or star crystals. I can't remember what it's called. But I think it's some kind of currency you collect as you play. And then everybody in that server contributes that currency to open up a boss portal, I guess. And then you all go for the boss to get like whatever the current... I think it used to be a paid currency, but I think they actually disabled the payment for it now. So the only way to get it is for everybody to contribute, open up this big boss portal, and then kill the boss and get crystals.
They got rid of any of the pay-to-win stuff? It's all just only in-game now?
Yeah, as far as I know, they disabled. You used to be able to buy these things, I think, and now I didn't see any other way to buy them, so I think they got rid of that. So now you just have to play together and get to the last like portal or whatever, and then run the boss, or the boss. It might be the boss's level before the boss where you can like grind out crystals or something like that.
That's weird. That's backwards from anything else. Normally it'll start out free, then they'll start slowly creeping in with the pay-to-win stuff. But these guys did it backwards, it sounds like.
So, wait, can you create like a custom lobby, though? Like if you don't want 40 people carrying you while you do nothing?
I don't think so. I think everybody just joins whatever
You
worlds they
just
want.
get carried regardless.
I could be wrong on that. You might be able to open there might be your own portals maybe, and then I think there's like public portals that you can jump in. I didn't play it a whole lot, but I was just starting to get back into it a little bit though. But I think you might be able to. I think there is maybe just public portals everyone can jump in, and then maybe you can open your own up. But yeah, it's called Starbreak. If anybody's interested, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out just to see what it's about. Because I actually have been looking at another roguelike that just came out, and I haven't played it yet, but I've been like keeping my eye on it. I actually might play it tonight after the pod. But it's called Metaghost: The Breaking Show.
Okay.
It's on Steam. It's like a cyber, like steampunk, I guess, looking kind of graphics that they have. And you go through, it's your typical roguelike. You can expect all the same things normally, but I think there's definitely 4 characters. There might even be a 5th character to choose from. You unlock them as you start going through like the story mode or whatever. It does have multiplayer, so you can play with other people. And it's like, I don't know, it's kind of cool. It's all about like cybernetics and prosthetics and stuff that you kind of like pick after you like beat a stage. You get your upgrades you can choose from, and you pick like different prosthetics and upgrades to get. Then you have your meta progression where you can do like your typical skill tree stuff, but then there's also like actual gear that you can find and like equip your character with gear for the next fights that you go into. I haven't played it yet, but
Is that on Steam?
yeah, it's on Steam.
Oh, okay.
So I pulled it up quickly to look at it. The art looks pretty sick. It's like kind of darker, but like a lot of neon bright colors on it and stuff. I really like the graphics.
Yeah, it's like I think it's like a cybery steampunk, I think is what this is called.
Whatever it is, it looks pretty sweet.
Yeah, so I'm down. Whoever's around after the pod, let's play it.
I'll be going to bed.
Send me that name. Send me that name in like a text or a message or something so I don't forget it.
Okay.
I'll check it out after this.
I'm gonna do Jordan's for him. Hi guys, I'm playing Final Fantasy VII something remake backwards compatible.
Final Fantasy X Fire Emblem.
Yeah, there it is.
I'll let Brad go first before I go over the like novel of notes I have about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth here.
Your weekly recap on it.
Well, this is the first recording we've done since I started playing it.
The newer one.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, if you want to hold out till last, I'll just quickly talk about, do you guys know what Humble Bundle is?
Kind of.
No,
I've heard
but
it.
It sounds...
Is that like a Steam thing where they just put a bunch of games together?
Yeah, pretty much. They have like different packages, but they do like a monthly one. It's called like Humble Bundle Choice. And there's like, I don't know, there's different varies of what games you get, but there's some like really expensive games and other just kind of random ones sprinkled in. But I don't know exactly what it is. I bought it a couple times. I think it's like $10 to $15, something like that. And you can always opt out, so you don't have to get it like the next month if you don't want. But you get a bunch of really like cool games and stuff for pretty cheap. But I picked up this one pack. It was like a separate one. I think it was like $12. It was like all these old 90s PC point and click games. I don't really know if I was going to play it, but I thought it'd be cool to play with Ezra, because that's kind of like something I remember playing as a little kid, something you can kind of pick up and play, and it's not like too crazy hard. So yeah, I picked that up and got like, I don't know, there's like 15 or 20 of these old school point and click games, and they're all like voice acted and everything, so it's something that's pretty cool for her to hop in and play. And she put one on and crushed it. She beat the whole thing by herself. I barely even helped her with it. It's pretty crazy.
Nice.
Yeah.
She's learning.
The one she started with was called Fatty Bear's Birthday Surprise. I don't know. It was a pretty interesting one.
That's got to be next episode, Fatty Bear.
Yeah.
Sounds like
Let's
a
go.
Five Nights spinoff.
Yeah, honestly, like, since kind of like horror games are almost styled after games that look like that. So Eli came down and looked at it, and Brittany also came down and like said, they both were kind of like, "Is this like a horror game?" Like, no, this is just actually what games used to be like. They're just kind of creepy on accident when you think about it.
It's like the graphics were so bad that it was creepy.
Yeah, there's something about it. It was like a little unsettling, like how they talk, and I don't know. It's supposed to be for like learning and stuff, but there's just something weird about it.
I used to get down with point and click games.
Some of them were pretty in depth. The one she beat wasn't too bad. Then we started up another one. It was called, I think, Spy Fox. That one was a little more involved. Like, you got to go to all these different places, get all these different items, revisit different spots, and use the right item in the right location. But I don't know, it's pretty fun just to click around, because literally like everything you click on, it's not always like usable, but it'll have like a little animation and like a little butterfly will fly out of a book or something, or someone will say something. But they're pretty well done for their time. I don't know if I'll ever play any of them by myself, but it's cool to play with her, because I can kind of, if she gets stuck, give her a little bit of guidance on like where to go next or what to do. But to sit down and play it by myself, I don't know if I'm going to do that, but they're still cool to have. It was pretty cheap to pick up.
Are they like it's just like a screenshot or like a still image, and then you click it and it animates or something?
Yeah. Then you can click on like a doorway. Okay. It'll take you to the next room, and you can, search the fridge to find the freaking something for the cake. You got to get the butter out, and then you got to go for the cabinet and get the flour or whatever you need for the birthday party.
Like little puzzle elements to it.
Yeah. It's pretty much a puzzle game.
I played some games like that on Newgrounds back in the day.
Newgrounds?
Yeah, definitely. They were loaded on there. Mostly
Newgrounds is the GOAT.
Yeah.
There's a game series called Submachine. It was probably my favorite one. It's like crazy. There's like 9 of them, I think. They're like crazy puzzle games like that, point and click.
I'm telling you, man. Soon you're going to get her into that. Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego?
Yeah. I remember playing that.
We're going to have to put that one on the list.
What was the one we played? I remember going to like Egypt or something, and I don't remember a whole lot, but I remember you were chasing her through like ancient Egypt and stuff like that.
Yeah, you chase her all over the planet.
But yeah, that's pretty much all I got this week. Just some point and click old school games.
So, everybody, welcome to my 3-minute review of the first 1/3 of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Yes, Kyle, I've been playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Okay, thanks for spoiling that for me. Jeez. But anyway, I am in love with it. Absolutely in love with it, which you can tell by the fact that I started it maybe like a week and a half ago, and I'm pretty sure I'm like 35 to 40 hours in already. But I don't know, I still have some mixed feelings though. I mean, there's some hit or miss parts about it at the same time. I feel like, I know, Brad, a few weeks ago, I remember saying like, it's open world, right? I'd say it's more semi open world, because you can't really just travel to like any area that you possibly want. It's not all open and available at once. It's split into regions, and each region only has like maybe like 2 or 3 major places of interest you can go to. So that helps a little bit. It does still kind of suffer from some of like the typical open world game problems, like just kind of running through empty fields, doing pretty much nothing for way too long and feeling like you just wasted like 3 minutes. Or my favorite, this is a very common one in this game for me, having a place you want to go, and then you kind of see something off to the side you want to go grab. So you go and get it, and then you see something off to the side of that. So you go and get it, and then you see something off to the side of that. So you go and get it, and then 5 minutes later, you're nowhere near where you were going in the first place. And that drives me nuts, but I cannot see an item off in the distance and not go get it. Even if it's the most minor thing, I have to do it.
You always got to do the side quests.
Dude, well, we'll get to the side quest stuff. This is just like items on the ground. The one thing about it, man, like the map, the world map on it is freaking beautiful. Like it looks gorgeous, but like I hope you like sightseeing, because the world is goddamn empty. Like there's a lot of cool looking places and stuff, but it feels like there's just next to nothing to do outside of the little submissions that the game gives you in each region, which are also like, there's like, I want to say maybe like 20-ish or so submissions that it gives you for each region you go to, but like they're 100% just there to fill time. Like there's some that are just battling like a specific enemy or activating a tower just to like learn more information or something like that. And I was listening to another podcast that said some of the same stuff. Shout out to the Square Roots podcast. But like Final Fantasy's kind of always been a series that's known for having these huge games that take forever to finish. And I feel like they're definitely throwing these little pointless submissions and stuff that like stalls and slows you down and whatnot just to make the game seem significantly longer. Because I feel like if you skipped all of that and did just the storyline stuff, I feel like the game would feel kind of short. But then you'd also miss out on all like the extra equipment, materia, and XP and stuff you need to make the game better and easier. So I'm doing it all, but it takes a while, man. Like I said, I'm like 40 hours in, and I'm pretty sure I've only got to like the third town in the game because I'm clearing out all these submissions and stuff. So it's something, man. I am having a fun time, even with some of those open world ish kind of issues, but I love it, man. If I have any free time, that's what I'm doing. I will say one thing though, Queen's Blood is dog shit, and I don't care what anybody has to say about that. That is, I know we talked about these in the past. That's the card game of the game. They brought card games back, and they have one in this one called Queen's Blood, and everyone says it's like the best mini game in this game, and it's not. It's horrible, and I hate it. And there was one part in the game where it was like forced to advance the story, and I forfeited that shit immediately because I did not want to play that game. I hate it.
That's in the 7 remake.
Yeah.
So that wasn't in the original, was it?
No, 7 didn't have a card game. 8 was the first one that did. And I liked 8
Oh,
and 9
the 9
way
had
more.
what? Tetramaster.
9 had Tetramaster, 10 had 8 had Triple Triad. This one has Queen's Blood, and I'm just not a fan.
It's kind of weird they just added something that was never in the game before.
Yeah, I guess they just wanted to bring back those old school PS1 little mini games, which this game is very much mini game the game. There are like every space you look, you turn your head and there's another mini game. You're playing mini games constantly, and some of them are good. I really love the Fort Condor mini game, but some of them are once again just there to take up time.
Is that the one where you're at Red 13's village?
No. Fort Condor?
Yeah, what's that?
No. So in the original game, Fort Condor was like the tower defense mini game. If you remember that, it's right before you get to Junon.
Oh, that wasn't at the Cosmo Canyon?
No, this was
What
earlier
am I
in the
thinking
game.
of? Wasn't there some kind of mini game at like Cosmo Canyon?
No, not that I can think of. Unless I'm really drawing a blank, you kind of just see like the planetarium there and stuff. I can't think of a mini game.
Oh.
But they changed Fort Condor up in this one a little bit. It's still a lot of fun though. I really enjoyed that one. But yeah, I've told you guys all about the first 1/3 or so of Rebirth, and I say 1/3 because like I'm maybe 40 hours, and I see a lot of people online saying that they just finished it at like 120, 130 hours, and so it takes a while, man. But whatever, still having fun.
You got a lot of gameplay left.
Got a lot of game left, man, and then we wait another 3 or 4 years for the final part of the remake.
And then you wait 10 more years and they'll remake it again.
Oh, that Final Fantasy VII remake, reborn, rebirthed.
There has been a Final Fantasy IX remake rumored for a few months now, so we'll see if that goes somewhere. I would love
Rebirth
that.
X2.
This time you get to play Sephiroth. You get to see his side of the story. But that's all I got, boys. Do you have anything else, or do you want to finally hop into our game 20 minutes later?
Yeah, let's get rolling.
Let's hop right into that.
Let's get rolling. What? So if everyone's ready to go, let's get started talking about our game for the episode. Let's dig up some Shadow Force. Shadow Force is a side-scrolling beat-em-up developed by Technos Japan and released in 1993. You take control of your choice of the ninja Kai, the dual-wielding sword fighter Blanet, the grappler Tengu or Tenju, I'm going to say Tengu, or the beastman Coyote, with an objective to stop Dr. Wong and his evil organization. You can encounter over 20 different enemies, including soldiers, samurais, and monsters, and you even have the ability to transform into these enemies and fight in their form. The game takes place over 5 separate stages, with a boss at the end of each stage, of course, and a fighting game style fight in between stages. So I'd mentioned the characters. We'll just start with that. Which character did you boys prefer the most?
I tried most of them out. I did a full playthrough with 2 of them. Of the 2 I liked the best was Tengu, but he was a little bit too slow. I didn't realize. At first I was telling you guys about this game because I always try them out first. And I was just saying this game plays so ridiculously slow. And then whenever I switched over to Kai, then I was like, oh, this dude is moving quick. That kind of changed it up. I mean, it was still a little slow, but that dude cruises, so it was a lot more fun playing with Kai.
I thought that might have happened with you.
Yeah.
Big difference.
Yeah, I played each character once. If I died, I would just switch characters just to kind of check them all out. But I ended up just staying with Kai because he was so quick.
Yep, that was the same for me.
Yeah, so a few of the games we played have given us the ability to change characters every time you insert a new coin. I think Bucky O'Hare did. What else? I want to say Mazinger might have. I don't know if typically
Yeah, I think Mazinger did.
Yeah, typically at the beat 'em ups will give you. I think Vamp did. Yeah, they'll give you the choice of switching characters. Typically, I always just pick one and go through it, but this is the first time I chose to switch it up each time. So I did originally go with Tengu since, I pretty much always go for the big, strong, beefy characters, and a little bit of Coyote because he looked cool. But by the end, I really liked Blunette for her speed, and then especially, like everyone else, Kai for his range and spammy attacks. So he's pretty much the main go-to by the time I finish this up. Although Tengu, I will say, he was the only one who could hit a German suplex, and that was pretty sick.
Yeah, I like some of his
getting your
moves.
WrestleFest in.
Exactly, man. Dude, once I used Kai a little bit, like I said, I liked Blunette. She seemed like the fastest one to me, but Kai, he kind of has like that Donatello from Ninja Turtles thing where he has that bow staff and he has that crazy range with it. And then he has a few attacks, he spammed the buttons and no one's getting near him. He's just swinging that freaking thing everywhere. And it was pretty satisfying.
Yeah, he was fast. He had some range. He had some pretty nice moves that were reliable. You could kind of spam and bait people in with and counter him. So he was all around. He seemed very good.
Kind of mess around. Now, one of the things I mentioned in my recap here, and we had this conversation a little bit ago, and we kept trying to say, let's stop and save it. So one of the big aspects in this game is that you are capable of taking the form of the enemies on the field. Now, of course, this game has a lot of buttons. There are 6 buttons you can use in this game, and I didn't press every single one. I pressed most, but I was not aware of this until I kind of was studying the game and reading more about it before we started this. So, yeah, and I know we have one more person here who just learned that you could transform into the enemies right before we hit record. So, Kyle, you want to talk about that?
Yeah, I didn't know you could do that. And even if I did, I wouldn't.
Yeah, I don't feel like it's a big miss. I don't feel like it's a huge deal to me personally, but I didn't do it, so I don't really know.
And I also pressed so many buttons, dude. So I don't know what button you had to press to possess somebody.
There's a lot of buttons, man.
Yeah, there were a lot, but I really only used like a couple that seemed to work for me. I just kind of figured out a couple different moves or like things that seemed effective, and then I didn't really venture beyond that. I did know about that little transform thing, but I used it on accident first, and I was like, this guy sucks. I just want to go back to my regular dude, so I switched back to him, and I was like, I'm just going to stick with him, so I'm not going to learn like 8 different characters as I'm playing the game. I'm just going to stick with the one dude I know with all the moves that I can do, and that seemed like it was a little easier to play.
Yeah, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I also didn't use or know about the transform either. I know I did it, like Kyle said earlier, about between levels. I knew about that, but I didn't know you could do it during the level.
Yeah, so as I said, in between levels, it forces you into, or we learned that most versions of this game will force you into kind of like a Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat-esque fighting game kind of fight, and that will force you to choose one of the enemies to control. And I don't know, did you guys have a specific one you like to pick? I kind of always went with the dude that had like the I don't know what weapon it was, like a hook on a chain kind of thing. Like I think of Yu-Gi-Oh! And the kunai with chain card. That was kind of what that guy had.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the guy I typically went with.
Yeah, I don't know if you had the same options for every single time because you do it like 3 different times throughout the game, 3 or 4 or something. And I don't know if they give you the same characters every single time. I felt like some of the guys I could pick, and then they weren't there as an option. Like the next time I had to do one of those fights, so I chose someone different every time. But nobody stood out as being like super useful.
Yeah, I agree. Brad?
Yeah, I generally, as soon as it started, I would just pick whoever, and I would just switch back to my regular character, so I didn't really even use them.
Ah, okay. I didn't even realize you could switch back to the character during those fights.
Yeah, the same way you take a form, you can do it and just switch back to your regular guy.
Makes sense. I will say, I feel like the combat in this game, compared to like most standard beat 'em ups, I feel like the combat was fairly advanced, mostly just because the game has 6 buttons. So you have different kind of attacks you can use in different combos. You can aim your attacks, so you can either hit high or low. Yeah, I thought for the most part, as far as beat 'em ups go, it was a fairly advanced feeling game to me. I thought the combat was pretty solid. I will say the only thing I didn't necessarily like is that I felt like a majority of the enemies just had entirely too much health. So I feel like most beat 'em ups, you hit them like, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 times, they're down. Some of these enemies, especially the one I think of, is like the spiky black armor guy on like the next to last stage or something. It seemed like he had unlimited health sometimes, and I think that's where a lot of the slowness of this game comes from, is just how much health these enemies have. They can take a while to take out.
Yeah, that's probably one of my biggest gripes with the game. It's just the enemies just take way too long to kill. It just felt like stale and boring, like you were stuck on the same screen. And I've had to knock guys down like 3 to 4 times. And like you have to, you got to hit them like 6, 7, 8 times before they even fall. And then you have to do it 3 or 4 times for each guy. It's just too much, dude.
Yeah, the combat was pretty complex, like you were saying, how there's so many different buttons, and there's actually like special attacks, like regular fighting games. If you like hold in back and then like rotate the joystick down and forward, then hit punch, you'll like shoot an attack depending on your character. And then like that's what I was doing with what guy was it, Tengu? I would like hold him back, hit forward, and then punch, and my guy would lunge at him, grab him, slam him off the ground, and always knock them down. So when I was using him, I would just pretty much spam that back and forth. And then he had a different move where he like half circle down, and he does like this windmill and like charges at the guy and like hits everyone that he runs into. So not only was it just like so many buttons, but there's like a bunch of different actual special moves that each of the characters have.
I loved using Kai's little windmill attack on the edge of the screen because the enemies aren't always on the screen. Sometimes they'll kind of step off to the side and you can't see them. And I would just walk up to the edge and spam his windmill attack. And they would just walk into it as they're trying to enter the screen. And that was always a way to get some nice cheap kills.
Yeah, he had some pretty solid crowd control. He can hit a lot of people at once with his stuff.
I think I mainly use Kai's upward attack and like the downward attack because they were faster than like all the other ones.
Where he like pokes them.
Yeah, the quick pokes, like the high and the low pokes. They let me stun lock quite a few enemies.
Those were super solid.
He had another move that I didn't really know how I did it all the time. I just kind of held him back. Because if you hold him back, your guy starts walking backwards. But if they hit you while you're doing that, your character will block. And then I would wait for them to attack me. When I blocked it, then I'd let go and hit forward and attack. And I would like jump up, grab them by the head, and throw them. And it would kill them like instant, like a lot of the enemies in one hit.
Yeah, I did that a couple times. I don't know exactly what it was.
Yeah, most of the characters seem to have like grapple attacks as well. I think Tengu is like the main one. Who, like I said, he had that nice Brock Lesnar German suplex, and I was crushing dudes with that at first. And the main attacks for Kai, yeah, we have like the windmill kind of thing where he holds it out in front of him and does that. There's Sky's little pokey attack, and then the other one with him I did a lot. He holds the staff above his head and kind of spins it around in a circle around his body. And that was, I don't know if you remember that attack. That was the other one I used a lot with him.
Yeah, yep, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Now, one thing I'm hoping that Kyle really appreciates about the enemies in this game, because we know from Cross Swords that Kyle really appreciates a polite enemy. One thing I've really noticed is that the enemies, there will typically be more than one on the screen, but it seems like they only ever attack you one at a time. Like the other ones won't really jump in until you've defeated the last one that you're already on.
Yeah, I did notice that. It felt like, I don't know, at first it was like weird, but then I grew to like, once you knew that was happening, it kind of made everything way easier. Because like you're kind of always like trying to micromanage, like, all right, attack the guy in front of me, but like watch the guy behind me and try to dodge him. And I realized like the guy that you're not currently in battle with just hangs out and just lets you guys duke it out.
Yep.
So it was much more easy to sort of manage the enemies.
It was very convenient. I loved it.
So they had honor, and I respect that.
They had honor. They didn't return our princess like a guy from Cross Swords, but they had honor. So as far as stages go, there's 5 stages. There is the construction site, which is just taking place on the rooftops overlooking the city. There's a secret forest name suggests, takes place in a forest. I think you also fight in a river for a little while. There's the weapons factory. There's the sanctuary, the enemy sanctuary, and the last stage. I don't want to say necessarily what it is until we talk about the boss from the stage prior, but it takes place in a very unique spot. Are there any stages you guys want to point out? Any aspects of any stages you guys want to talk about? What do you got in mind?
I don't really got much. They were just platforms to fight enemies for the most part. I mean, some of them had kind of cool graphics, but nothing really overly stuck out to me.
I thought that construction site looked neat just because of the city in the background at night. It was a pretty cool visual for like a 1993 game.
Yeah, I thought they were all fairly basic, except for it might have been the last stage or whatever, where they finally started introducing sort of like obstacles on the map, like things you could actually interact with, and like hit, knock around, and like sort of little traps you had to avoid or jump over.
I feel like stuff like that was kind of spread out amongst different stages. Because there was a stage hazard in the construction site where you're just avoiding some falling steel beams. I think it's either the last stage or the next to last stage. There's like these spiky trees that come out of the ground and go for you. And then like standard stuff on the stage, you can like destroy rocks and stumps and stuff to get food for health. And there's always like little quirks for most of the stages, I feel like. Going back to the Mega Man episode, I know the weapons factory stage has a nice conveyor belt at the beginning. I know Sky probably appreciated that because it's probably moving him around the stage.
Yeah, that was interesting. Trying to fight on there. I think it reversed direction too. So like you go forward for a little bit and then it go backwards, didn't it?
I don't remember. I know there were two that were going in opposite directions. I don't remember if they switched or not.
I thought it was kind of dumb though. You can fall off the edge of it, right? So it's like, all right, I fell off the conveyor belt, whatever. Lose a little bit of health and it puts you back up on top. But then after you kill everybody, your guy jumps down there anyway. So like, why was I getting hurt from that?
Yeah, that was like the Turtles one where you jump in the manhole and
Yeah,
you die,
sure,
but
yeah.
if you'd go in there at the end of the level anyways.
I know it's a game, but
Yeah.
still, that's stupid to me.
I like the mini boss who's in both the first two stages, the construction. Well, you can do the first three in any order, but the construction site in the secret forest has a mini boss. He's this big purple samurai that as soon as he shows up, he keeps saying, "You're toast," which is not exactly how I would expect a samurai to initiate his battle, but I respect the nice 90s lingo there.
Well, that was a mistranslation. In Japanese, he
Uh-oh.
said, "Your bread."
Oh, okay, thanks.
Yeah,
Thanks for clearing
I
that
was
up.
gonna say, not sure what you expected him to say. Like,
No
your
worries.
tofu.
He just said, "Your bread," but they translated the toast for some reason.
I don't know. I don't picture a samurai just walking up to his enemy and going, "You're toast."
Maybe there was butter on there and it got lost in translation. I don't
buttered
know.
toast.
Buttered toast. That's a pretty serious insult.
Oh, am I going too far? I'm sorry. What about bosses? I know the boss at the end of the secret forest was kind of a pain in the butt. You have to fight these two amoeba that will
Dude,
essentially
I hate
latch-
those things.
they'll essentially latch onto your character and they'll transform into your character. So you're essentially fighting a mirror of yourself.
Those things suck.
Yeah. And then you have to fight them again on the final stage.
Yeah, but those guys were also, weren't they? They're like little blobs. They jump on you. They take your form, and you have to like essentially like kill them. But once you kill them, they turn back into a blob, and they jump on you a second time. So don't you have to kill them both twice?
Yeah, they were super annoying.
I think if you don't manage to kill them in the blob form, you have to keep fighting them, don't you?
They eventually transform back into blob form. I don't know if it's just at half HP or what.
Yeah, I think it's around half, and I think they just blob, and they'll jump on you again. So it's like you just have to do it twice. It's just another instance of like just being stale, like you're fighting the same guy for way too long.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure you can attack them in their blob form too, I believe too, but it's kind of difficult.
I think there was only really two difficult enemies in the game, and the first one was the amoebas, and the other one was like those big mech guys, those big armored mech guys that do like an aerial attack on you. I think they might be in that construction or
Yeah, and they would
Are they
like
in the
grab you
construction
too
level?
with their arm and like slam you.
yeah, they choke you, slam you. Like the one dude comboed me pretty much my whole life for like he stun locked me the whole
Oh,
time. I got so unlucky. Well, I was trying to hit him and like I couldn't stun lock him, so he would just break through it. He would jump up and hit me with like an aerial attack, and as soon as my guy would stand back up, he'd do that choke on me and throw me back down. And as soon as I would stand up, he walked forward and choked me again, and like he just like pinned me against the wall and kept choking me to death.
Damn, dude, sounds like you guys had a fun night.
Yeah, that was rough. Everything else in the game was kind of easy. The other enemies, but just those guys and the amoebas were the most annoying.
Yeah, I would pretty much use like your power, and you can like stock up your special move, and it just kind of kills everything on the screen. I would use that for like those little those green blobs, because they were pretty tough to deal with.
Yeah, I would typically try to save those for big fights, like boss or mini boss fights, but there were definitely times where the screen was getting kind of filled with the really high HP enemies, and I would just just toss one of those out there to at least weaken them, you know? And on my first playthrough, I couldn't figure out how to use the bomb thing. I didn't figure it out until like the final stage of my first playthrough. Then my second playthrough, I took pretty good advantage of it.
What made me mad about that was I was saving them up. I think after my first playthrough, I was doing my second one, so I was saving all of my specials up. I had 9 of them in stock. That's where it caps out. So, and then how you do those little 1v1 fights in between, like the actual stages, if you lose that, all your specials are gone and you're back to 0. So I had all 9 of them ready to go. I lost that stupid fight, and the next level, all of them were gone. I was so mad.
That's dumb.
Yeah, I think I did lose that once too. It took them all away.
It was so cheap, because if you go into that fight with full HP and you lose that little one-on-one, you start the next match with like the regular stage with no HP. You take one hit and you die. So that thing was just there to completely kill you.
Yeah.
And it's also forcing you to choose a character that you've never played before.
Yeah.
So you don't even know any of the guy's moves.
And you're not really prepared for that. That fight is like I thought they were like a little harder than the regular enemies. They were way more aggressive.
Yeah, for sure.
So don't mention the final fight quite yet. We'll save that for a later part here. But for the one-on-one fights, at least in between stages, how often did you guys win and how often did you guys lose? Because that was pretty 50-50 on those.
I think. Oh, I mean, I don't even know if it counts as a loss. Like
If you ran out of health.
if you're fighting the guy. Well, I mean, if you're fighting the guy as like whatever character you picked, and you like die, you just turn back into your main character
for like one more hit, pretty much.
Yeah, so I never actually fully lost one. Like I got knocked out of like the first character, and then I won the fight using the main character. So if you're counting that as a win, then I won them all.
So you managed to win the fights with only 1 hit point left?
Well, I won every fight without even getting knocked into my main character form. Only one fight that happened.
Okay.
And when I got knocked back to my main character, I still won the fight.
Yeah, I was pretty 50-50 with it.
That's a clean sweep then. You won them all.
Jeez.
Hey, winners win.
I did have a few moments where whenever the final hit would hit me and transform me back into my main character's actual likeness and image, I thought, like, the way they hit the ground, I thought that I had died, so I kind of just stopped pressing buttons for a second, and then I remembered, oh no, the fight's still going, I have 1 more hit point left.
Yeah, I was not prepared for that first one at all, so I got wrecked the first time.
I'm not very great at fighting games either.
I think I won the next 2. There's only 4 total, right? You do one with the last boss, and you do like 3 before him.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that was a weird part of the game though. That's completely different from everything else. Just like turns into like Street Fighter for one level.
Yeah, kind of neat that they kind of have like a different genre of game mixed in there, but like Brad said, the fact that if you lose that fight, you start the next stage with only 1 hit point left, that's a little brutal for me.
And it's weird because they call it a bonus stage. So it's like, how is there even a penalty for this?
And it's just for points, which who cares about the points?
Well, I did notice if you win, you get 2 extra specials, or at least I did the times that I won. You get 2 more special moves for the next one.
Okay, I thought it was just strictly points. I never looked at my number, really, my special number.
Yeah, it was weird that it switched it up like that, but for how we were saying how complex and like how many different buttons there are and different moves and combinations, it almost plays like a fighting game. So while it was a bit different, it almost kind of fit in somewhat, I feel like.
I did think it was cool that it mixed it in. I just don't think it should have punished you so hard for losing.
Yeah, my first time through, I think I won 1 of the fights, and the next time through, I think I only lost 1. So, depending on which playthrough, I did good the one, got wrecked the other.
I'm just not a fighting game person because I don't memorize like the button combinations and stuff you need to do the special attacks.
I just figure out one thing that works and spam it until they die, pretty much. I don't do anything special.
It's like spam it until they figure it out, and then for me, I was typically always just doing like a low attack, spamming that, and then whenever they stopped me and figured it out, I would switch to just spamming high. And it worked every now and then.
Dude, the first fight, the first time they like force you into that battle, I just walked the person into the corner and then just literally stood there and just pressed my button, my regular normal attack button, as fast as I could, and I just killed their entire health bar. And they couldn't move.
Whatever works, man. Who cares how you get there?
And I think I chose the character that has like a gun, but I just never used the gun. I just pistol whipped the whole time.
Yeah, can I say the enemies with the machine guns feel really out of place in this game?
Yeah, they do.
Because it's all like samurais and monsters, and all of a sudden you have these dudes walking in here with machine guns and grenades. So one thing, I believe this is the Sanctuary stage 4. One part that I really had a lot of fun with, it was the Weapons Factory, I think, in stage 3. One of the parts I had fun with, this was early on. I don't understand what this was necessarily supposed to be, but there's this like oval-shaped track that has these 3 pillars on it. And if you attack one of the pillars, they'll like rapidly spin around the track and damage anything that they hit. And I kind of just focused more on hitting those just to see how many times I could hit the enemy with them, because it was just kind of satisfying. But it would also hurt you if it hit you as well. Did you guys play around with that?
Yeah, I knocked myself out a couple times with those.
Yeah, me too.
Every now and then they'd get me and it wouldn't be worth it, but I still had fun with it.
At first, I didn't realize it was like a big oval track. I thought it was just like a top track and a bottom track. I didn't realize it connected, so I would smack one, thinking I was going to hit the enemies in the top lane, and then they would just come around the bottom lane and smack me in the face.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I didn't
I
realize
was like,
that.
oh,
at first
okay,
either.
that's all one track. All right.
So let's talk about the stages near the end, because that's where, of course, most of the quote-unquote storyline and the action take place. So you get to the Sanctuary. Do you guys remember the Warlock enemies they had early on? I hated those ones. I would always use one of my special bomb attacks on them to clear them out.
One of the few enemies that had like actual range attacks.
Yeah, they sucked. Pretty low HP though, so one bomb would kind of take them out. But the Dr. Wong fight at the end of that stage, I thought that fight was super easy because he attacked you with magic, but all you really had to do was attack him a few times and then move, because his magic would specifically aim for where your character was at. He had one that would hit the ground directly below him, one that would shoot straight out forward. So you kind of just have to attack, like maybe crouch and attack him, and then move somewhere else, and he'd throw his low attack after you're already gone. I don't know did you guys have an easy time with that fight too?
Yeah, that was too in depth for me. I just got him in the bottom corner and just kept on spamming. He didn't even move. I stun locked him like a little bitch. He didn't do anything.
Wow.
See, stun locking
Nice.
didn't always work for me. Typically, I would get them for a few minutes and they would get out of the corner. But if it works,
It
for
seems
you,
like
it worked for
sometimes
you.
they'd have like an iframe or whatever, and then they'd just hit you through it.
Yeah, depending on who it was and what move you were using, I don't know, some of the timing was a little weird. If you I wait for them like to get up if I knock them down, and then like wait a second before they could do anything and hit again. Like when I did it with Tengu, I just kind of held in like up and A, and he does like this overhand double fist, and I just kept on doing that. As soon as he would get up, I would just like beat him back down and he would fall over. So it was a pretty easy one for me.
Yeah, I thought the boss and like all of his like 3 different forms you have to fight him in were super easy. Like I literally just would like attack him until he fell over, and then I would just like move my axis a little bit. Like I'd either go up or down and like start my attacks, and then when he stood up, he would walk up to like meet you, and he would just get stun locked again. And I literally beat him in all of his forms just by doing that.
So funny enough, on that stage, despite the fact that Dr. Wong is supposed to essentially be the big bad of the game, he's the bad guy you're going after, he's actually not. He's actually the mini boss of this stage, technically, because there's a bigger boss you fight right after him. You fight freaking Lucifer, of all things. It's a demon who is legitimately just called Lucifer. So we're fighting the devil or whatever, and I thought he was sick. But I had the exact same strategy for all 3 of the final fights, pretty much all of the bosses that were tall enough to do it to, I realized that all I really had to do to take them out, if I was out of bombs, is stand at either the top or the bottom of the screen, jump the other direction, and just hit them with a jump kick in the middle of it. So maybe I'm standing at the top of the screen, I'll jump down to the bottom, hit them with a jump kick in the middle, then go back up to the top and just repeat that, because they cared more about more or less following you and lining you up than actually attacking back. So if you were able to do that without missing, they really almost wouldn't even attack you at all. So that's how I took care of all 3 of the final bosses, and that made the end of the game very simple for me.
Yeah, starting with Lucifer, I did the jump kick, similar to you as well. I would just kind of go up and down or left and right, just jump kicking him. And as soon as he'd get up, I'd line it up so I'd kick him again right as he was getting back up, and he just kind of, he would break free sometimes, but for the most part, he could just kind of keep repeating that.
He caught me out of position a couple times, but I pretty much did that too. On his first form was like the red demon form, right?
Yeah.
Like that one, yeah, I would start to the right side, do a jump kick to the left, and then I'd hurry up and keep jumping, because sometimes he'd do like that little lightning explosion around him.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd just keep jumping, and it would make me like backflip away. After he'd do that, then I'd jump kick to the right side, backflip away. But he killed me a couple of times, though. I mistimed it.
Now, how about after you beat it and he just swallows you?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Earlier, I didn't say
that was weird.
Stage 5 was yet. That's Stage 5. You were inside of Lucifer. That is the 5th and final stage of the game.
Just fight through his body.
Fight through Lucifer's stomach.
There was wasn't there 2 more amoebas down there?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, yep. I hate those things.
This was also, I think, I could be wrong about this, but I think this is the only stage where you can fall off the side of the stage and damage yourself. That was a pain.
I don't even remember that.
I was in like a narrow part you can go up or down too far and you fall off.
Even on the part that's not that narrow, if you just go too high or too low, he'll just fall off the stage. It won't be an automatic death, it'll just do some damage. But then, of course, you get to the final boss, which is Biomother, I believe it was called. And I had the same strategy for them, but this fight had 2 forms. The first form was almost like a cocoon kind of thing on the wall with like 3 dragon heads. And this fight was wonderful because if you just go the whole way up to the right wall where it's attached to and do that jump kick strategy up and down while you're up against the wall, it cannot hit you. So you can get through that part completely unscathed.
Yeah, I ran right up to the wall there, and I just kept on attacking. I swear I was attacking for like 5 minutes straight, and the thing kept flashing like you were damaging it, but it wasn't really doing anything because it has like 3 little heads that pop out or whatever, or worms, whatever, little dragon heads. You have to actually hit those. They die in like 1 hit, but if you just sit there and hit like the cocoon, it looks like you're doing something, but you're doing nothing. So I was sitting there for so long just trying to destroy it, then I realized I had to actually hit those individually.
See, I didn't aim for anything in specific. I just jumped and kicked, and eventually it died.
You probably just got lucky eventually.
I did the same thing as you, B.
Yeah, it was so annoying.
I thought I broke it. I was like, dude, I'm gonna just kill this whole boss and you can't even hit me. And I was like hitting him for 2 minutes, and I'm like, wait a minute, dude, something's wrong.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
So then to wrap up the game, then after that you have one more of those little. It's kind of like you said, Brad, kind of like Mega Man, how you think you beat it, and then you have one more little mini game to really beat it at the end.
Yeah.
So you have to do one more of those 1v1 fights. But for this one, I believe you're actually choosing the forms of the boss characters rather than just the standard monsters. Did you all beat that final one-on-one fight?
In my second run, I did. The first time, I did not. I was so mad because then it's just like game over or something. You just lose, and I guess you didn't beat the game. You don't get a second try. You can't put in another coin. You just lose the game. And I was like, this is so dumb. I was so mad. And then the second time I made it through, I literally thought I lost. I had you couldn't even see my HP, and I finished him off. So I just barely beat him.
Yeah, I hate when games do that. That's so dumb.
Yeah.
You put all that work in and get to the end, and then you can just lose right then and there, and then goodbye, game over.
It's rough.
But I did not beat it, the final fight, but I did I didn't play the game. I didn't play it through again But I did make a save state before that because I thought I was going to have to be leaving the house before I finished my playthrough, so I didn't want to restart everything. So my official playthrough, I did not beat him, I lost. But then I loaded up my save state just to check it out, and I chose, I think I chose the boss, whatever we were fighting, like a mirror match. And I actually used that to kill him without getting hit at all.
Nice.
Because if he does like a jump kick, so I would just keep jump kicking him over to the right side of the screen. And then as soon as he would stand up, he would try to do a jump kick at you. So if you just jump like a second before him and kick him, he falls back down. I literally repeated that until he died and he didn't touch me. So you can definitely cheese the last boss if you just mirror match him and just keep jump kicking him to the corner. But my official run, I did not do that. I lost.
Fair enough. Kyle?
Yeah, I didn't lose any of those fights.
So yeah, I played the game twice and I beat the final fight both times. So I felt pretty good about that.
Nice.
I used I think his name's Oni. He was the very first boss. Or first boss for me, because I did the construction site level first. He was the boss of that stage. And I just did my strategy. I said I just pretty much just ducked and did low attacks until he figured it out. Then I stood up high and did high attacks until he figured that out. Just kept switching it. That's about all I can really think of to talk about here, boys. Whatever else you have in mind that you want to mention, by all means, please hop in here.
What does your guy transform into? Whenever you like beat levels, you turn in like a little orb and fly away. What is that?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's like they're teleporting with it or something.
It's like some weird transition teleport form. I don't know. You turn in like a little ball.
Yeah, that's what you use to take over. I know you guys didn't, a couple of you didn't do it, but whenever you like take over the enemy's body, you use that little ball, and I think it just like possesses them basically. And that's what whenever the final boss goes to kill you, or once you beat the final boss, Lucifer, you turn into that little ball when he eats you. So I don't know what the deal with it is, but it's kind of weird. Yeah, I got nothing else.
I was gonna say nothing else. You guys feel good?
Yeah, I think we talked about just about everything.
I feel pretty good too. So if we want to go and wrap it up there, hey yo, Big B Brad, this is your chance, my man. Hit us with them numbers, boy.
Let's run them numbers, boys. Let's talk about them credits. How many credits it take you guys to get the whole way through this? We already discussed if you beat the final boss or not, so we're just going to focus on how many credits it took you to beat it.
Mine's probably on the higher end. You guys, played it twice? I just played it once. But I spent 22 tokens, and I'm not sure if it matters, but my score was 421,200.
Okay.
That's respectable.
Ooh, I wouldn't put too much respect on it.
I played it one time per usual, and I did it in 1 credit.
Shut the
Oh!
Shut up.
That took me 24.
Okay, alright.
Big B, what you do?
I obviously did it twice. Mine wasn't much better. My first one was 23. My second one was 21 credits.
Ooh,
Alright, Jordan,
man.
what do you got, Street Fighter Pro?
You taking this one, Jordan?
I got 2 weeks in a row is what I got, boys.
All right.
20 tokens.
Nice.
Nice.
Dang, he's the back-to-back 2-time.
First playthrough was 26 and 444,800 for the score. Like Sky said, he said his. I'll throw mine out there too. Second playthrough, yeah, 20 tokens and 376,650. I don't really know why the score is that much lower, but the score doesn't matter here really anyway.
I think if you die more, you get more hits, so you probably get more score.
Yeah, something like that. But yeah, 20 tokens, that's the number that really matters here.
Nice.
Put it on the board. And I beat the final fight.
That's right. The 2-time champ.
Woo!
Yeah, I lost the final fight also.
Felt good about this one, man.
Let's move into our individual ratings. This one I'm not too sure on. I read this somewhere. We're going to pretend it's true whether it is or not. There are apparently 14 different endings to the game, depending on which character you beat it with. And you can also do doubles. So if you beat it with 2 characters, apparently there's different endings depending on who you pair with. And then obviously losing is another ending. So, I mean, I don't know how to fact check this. I tried looking it up, tried figuring some of it out, but we're just going to say there's 14 of them. So that's what we're going with. We're rating it out of 14.
No big deal if it's not that accurate. I mean, if you guys want me to go first, I mean, y'all know that this game is more my kind of thing than maybe like the platformers or whatnot that we'll do. I do remember whenever Brad originally said, like, yo, heads up, boys, like, this game is slow. And I thought, when I looked this game up the first time on YouTube, I only watched it for maybe like 5 seconds. And I was like, I kind of thought the same thing, like, yeah, this looks slow. But then I played it. And of course, I did Tenju first. And I once again still thought, yeah, this game is slow as hell. But then I realized you just switch to a fast character and suddenly it just feels like a normal beat 'em up. And I thought this was a fun one, man. I like the ninja aesthetic. I like that it has pretty unique combat. I like that I had the best token total, so I'm giving this one a fairly. I'm giving this one I enjoyed this game. I genuinely had fun with this one. I thought it was a good time. I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 14.
Okay, not bad.
Not bad, dude. I'm pretty close to that. I'm gonna trying to like objectively rate this one because, to be fair, like this isn't really my kind of game. I didn't really have fun playing it. Like, it just felt kind of boring to me the whole way through. But when I look at the game and like what it offers and the systems that it has and all the different characters you can play as, all the different moves that each character has, there's actually like a lot of versatility when it comes to like all the enemies you can fight. The only thing that didn't really like I said before, was just some of the enemies just take too long to kill. It's like you're just beating the same. I would rather have like 10 guys on the screen that you only have to knock over once or twice, as opposed to like 2 guys on the screen that you have to knock over 4 times.
Yeah.
It just feels like you're like stuck. And then I don't think the boss fights were like, the bosses themselves look kind of cool, but like the actual fighting them just also felt kind of boring. Like I said, I kind of hit stunned a lot of them. Just felt cheap, but it was like I wasn't not going to do that because it was the easiest thing to do. But I think I'm going to land this one with like a 9.
Nice.
All right.
Yeah, I'm coming in about the same. I'll do like a 9 out of 14 also.
Nice.
I like I always love the graphics of these kind of games. This one actually was really awesome.
Yeah,
like all the characters
did.
are, yeah.
I like the aesthetic.
All the characters are pretty cool. Music was actually kind of neat too. I thought the music was all right.
It was bad, but I enjoyed it.
That's my kind of stuff, man. I like those old tunes like that. I'm usually okay with those. Like that mechanic that I didn't know about, that you can just take over any enemies in a level. I never used it, but that's still pretty cool that you can do that.
Unique.
But then again, it's definitely unique, but it's kind of useless also. Like, you're better off just using your normal guy, I guess. Like,
it just gives you a lot of different ways to play the game, I guess.
Yeah. Something that knocks a point off for me, obviously. It's kind of the same thing with Mega Man Power Battle. You can get to the end, and then you just lose. Like, there's no indication. Just game over, try again after all this time. Like,
Yeah, that's rough.
So that's kind of dumb that they would hinge that. Because maybe just because I'm not as good as some other people, I feel like you can get screwed if you pick the wrong enemy to fight at the end battle. Because some are more useful than others. But overall, I'd say 9 out of 14. It wasn't a bad game.
All right. I'm coming a little bit lower than everyone else. Not by much. I'm just going 8 out of 14. It was all right.
Solid.
Like, so far, my standard for beat 'em ups is probably that Dungeons and Dragons Tower of Doom. That's one of the better ones we've played. That one I actually enjoyed. This was okay. Like I said, the first time I played, I thought it was super slow. It was a little better once I switched the character to Kai, and it was a little faster moving around and stuff. But yeah, you guys pretty much covered the rest of it. But I did want to say how they have the different endings. I think Tengu, he has the sickest one, dude. Once he wins, isn't that like how you have to beat Lucifer? You're in like that kind of colorful room. He just chills there, like a little throne pops up. He's just sitting on the throne waiting for someone to like come challenge him, basically.
Oh, he takes his place.
Yeah, and
What a
the other guy,
man.
That's cool.
the ninja dude, he like goes and trains in the woods. The girl is like sitting on the beach or something. And I don't know what the wolf does, but yeah, I thought that was awesome, dude. He's just like chilling there. He's the boss.
He's just
now.
like, I'm the new guy.
Yeah. But we'll still lock it in at 8 out of 14 for me.
All
Not
right,
bad
not too
overall.
bad.
Not bad at all.
Let's move into ranking it then. We got 16 games on the list. This is going to be number 17. Where we want to put it?
Kind of feeling somewhere in the range of like between 7 and 11, personally. Somewhere in that kind of general.
That's where I'm looking at. I'm looking at maybe under Mazinger, possibly.
Oh, you guys are high. I was thinking
I was gonna say this
under
is high,
Mega
dude.
Twins was where I was thinking.
Under
I'm
Mega
thinking-
Twins?
Hmm.
Personally, I'd rather do Mega Twins than this.
Yeah, I would for sure rather play Mega Twins. I'm even maybe under Boogie Wings. It could go like
Oh.
above or below Boogie Wings, in my
Hmm.
opinion.
I mean, I could go as low as Metal Slug, to be honest, but I think as high as this goes for me is above Boogie Wings.
I feel like I'd rather, if I was going to play one of these games again, I would rather play this one than all the ones from that range I said. I'd rather do it than Mazinger and Joe and Mac, Cross Swords, Mega Twins, Boogie Wings, but I'm also not gonna like have my feelings hurt if we put it in between Mega Twins and Boogie Wings. So maybe somewhere around there, unless Sky has some strong thoughts.
I mean, I would put it above Mega Twins, honestly.
I think I would too, but
Maybe
It's-
under
it's-
Cross Swords or even. See, I liked it better than Joe and Mac. Like, I don't know. The way our list is, it's gonna get
just,
weird.
Yeah,
the
it's
more
just
games
more
we
my
play.
kind of game, but like it's kind of tough sometimes to compare these games that are different genres.
Yeah, I usually just like start from the bottom of the list and I say, okay, is it better than WrestleFest? Yes. Is it better than Vamp? Yes. And I go up until I get to one where I'm like, is it better than this one? And if that's a no or like a maybe, then like that's kind of where I think it should be. Because obviously there's going to be things that are even up higher that maybe I didn't want up higher, but that's where they are. So like, I just find the first one that I think it's probably not better than, and that's where it goes.
I mean, doing it that way for me, I would put it between Cross Swords and Mega Twins.
Yeah, like if it was just my decision, I'd probably put it around 7, but like just above Mazinger. But I don't think that's happening. I'm okay with this going. I would personally have it above Mega Twins, but it kind of seems like we're 50-50 here between me and Sky. I think above Mega Twins, and Brad and Kyle think below Mega Twins.
So you guys are looking at rank 10. Me and Kyle were thinking rank 11.
Yeah, and like I don't have like an insanely strong. Like I'm not gonna like have my feelings hurt if it goes at 11.
It's only one way to do this fairly.
Are you gonna say trivia?
The winner of trivia.
There we go.
Back at it again. Hey Sky, I'm gonna text you the answers real quick. Get your phone out.
All right.
I mean, if that's what we want to do, we can. How do you
I mean,
guys?
I'm not passionate enough to really care either way, but I would put it above
We could
Mega,
just-
or put it right under Mega Twins. But if it goes above it, not a big deal.
Yeah, you're kind of like on just the same as me, just opposite.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, we could just do like a little mini game inside the game here and do like a Sky versus Kyle for trivia and have that just decide which spot it goes
Let's
at.
do it, because I'm flowing with passion about
All
this.
Yeah,
right,
like-
let's do it. Me and Jordan cancel each other out, then Kyle and Sky fight it out.
Just Kyle versus. What if it's a tie?
We'll see what happens when we get there.
Cross that bridge.
It's a tie. Jordan's a champ, so he's a tiebreaker.
We'll cross that sword when we get there.
All right, so get this straight. Sky wins. It goes at number 10 above Mega Twins. Kyle wins. It goes at 11 between Mega Twins and Boogie Wings.
That's right.
Let's do it.
All right, boys. So if we want to hop into it, I will say when I was downloading the ROMs for this game, don't download ROMs, kids. It's illegal. I did notice that I originally got, I think, the Japanese version incorrectly. And when you guys started your game up, did it give you like a minute of backstory at the beginning of the game?
I don't even remember.
I don't think it did in the English version, but I noticed the Japanese version does. So you can actually see 2 of the answers to these questions in that Japanese backstory.
I don't remember seeing any of that.
We should be fairly safe. And one of these answers I do believe is still in the game, so if you were paying attention, you might get it. But if you guys are ready, we'll hop on into it then. Kyle versus Sky. So just to
Here we
give
go.
you guys a little recap here. Sky's in first place with 32, Brad's in second with 26, Kyle is in third with 23. So we're going to kick it off here. Trivia question 1. What year does the game take place in? The story of the game. What year does it take place? A, 2015, B, 2018, C, 2020.
I wasn't expecting any of those dates, honestly.
I know.
Yeah.
I'll just go with 2015.
Okay.
I'm gonna say 2020 because they had dudes with cybernetic soldiers with guns, so they probably
Okay.
thought that was gonna be 2020.
I'm going 2015.
All right. You were all wrong.
Oh
It
my
was
god.
B 2018, and I specifically
Wow.
put 2020 in there because I kind of thought like that's just what you think. Like they try to make some of it a little futuristic, so that's just kind of like a solid even number that a lot of people would go with. Like in the year 2020.
That's what I was thinking. I even heard that voice.
I love when old games and movies made something that took place in the future, and now we're at those years where the future happened, and just no, it's so far off. They thought everything was gonna be so futuristic and crazy. They were wrong. You're all wrong.
Mega Man had it right. You got to do 20XX.
Perfect. Anyway, no one's on the board yet. Question 2. What is the name of Dr. Wong's evil organization? And one of these is correct. The other two, I just picked words that rhyme with the correct one. A. Teaser. B. Caesar. C. Pleaser.
I'm going to say whatever you said for A.
Teaser?
Sure. That all sounds the same.
Sure. Yeah.
Did you just say the same thing 3
He
times?
said the same word 3 times.
No. So we got teaser with a
Technically,
T,
it rhymes.
Caesar with a C, pleaser with a PL.
I'll go with B. Caesar.
Okay.
A. Teaser.
Man, it is teaser. You guys are tied up.
Woo.
Well, Kyle and Sky are at least. Brad's just here.
Nice.
The answer is teaser. Question 3. Guys are just going to have to kind of think back on this one a little bit. We're focusing more on the developer of the game here. Which of these former games that we have played on the show was also developed by Technos Japan? A. WWF WrestleFest. B. Dungeons and Dragons Tower of Doom. C. Megatwins.
Wow.
I'll go with WrestleFest.
Okay.
Let's just wrestle it up.
All right.
Dang. All right, now I can pull a dick move here, and I can purposely tie us.
And we'll just
But I
be
don't know
right
what
back
happens
where
if we
we
tie.
started.
So I'm not sure what we do about that
Just
situation.
go with your gut.
If you got the same answer, bro, just go for it.
We haven't figured that out yet.
See what happens.
I'm going with C.
C.
Mega Twins.
All right. The correct answer is this game is going at number 10 above Megatwins. The correct answer is A. WWF WrestleFest.
Dang it, I should have tied it.
Oh, man.
We would have
did
had
it.
no idea what to do. Would have had no idea what to
We'd
do.
have been gridlocked, man. It wouldn't have made the list.
It just never goes on the list. Ever.
Just gets
It
banished.
stays off in the void.
It goes down to spot 20XX. All right, so that brings the scores for trivia to Sky has 34, Brad has 27, Kyle has 24, and Shadow Force is 10.
All right. Yep. So that puts Shadow Force at there. We'll start at 9. 9 is Cross Swords. 10 is Shadow Force. 11 is Mega Twins.
And I would play this game 100 times over playing Cross Swords again. I ain't nobody got time for that game.
They're both cool, though. Cross Swords is a pretty unique game.
That's what it's got going for it. All right, boys, this was a fun one as always. If you have any last words, anything else you want to say about this game, by all means, this is your chance.
I'm all good.
I'm over this game, dude.
You're over it, man. You gave it a pretty good rating, though.
Yeah, but I think we've beat it. We've knocked it down 4 times, and it's not getting back up.
We did. You just got to do 3 more, man. All right, well, I guess we'll just go ahead and wrap it up here then. Next time on Arcadiology, we have Twin B Yahoo! That was beautiful, right, guys?
That
I
was
nailed
good.
it.
Loved it.
Anyway,
I'll take it.
follow us on all social media at Arcadiology. You know, all the standard stuff, the Twitters, the Facebooks, the Instagrams, the Snapchats, and I don't know if Brad's still doing the TikTok and all that, but if not, he should. Email us at arcadiologyquestions@gmail.com. I just really want to answer questions finally. We haven't even gotten to any of that yet. I would really, really enjoy that. Leave us some 5-star reviews. Help us get more views, and therefore more reviews, and then let me read your reviews. I'm just saying too much shit. Send us reviews so I can read them already. I need more stuff to do at this end of this episode. Brad, talk about, as always, our Discord and the question form, if you would.
Yep, we have a Discord. Anyone can join, hop in, talk to us, recommend games, hang out there, submit your high scores, whatever you want to do. And then we will have a question form in the description as well. So in addition to emailing, instead you can fill out the form. It's quick and easy to do. You don't need to sign up for anything really. Just send it through and we'll hopefully read it here if you ever do it. And that's it.
Say goodbye, boys.
Later.
See ya.
Later, dudes.
Insert the closing line here. Goodbye.